Well, hello and welcome to Robert's Train Set. And yes, I've got a new loco. And here it is. And I ordered this on Sunday, the 20th, and it arrived on the Tuesday. And it came from Wales to Sheffield. And as you can see, nicely packaged. It didn't wobble about in the box. Really good. And what was in it? Well, having failed to get a class 37 from Acura scale, and it isn't a Acura scale a locomotive, you're probably going to have a pretty good guess at what I've bought. So here's the front, and you can sort of see the line drawing, really nice. Nice boxes as always. And yes, I've got a GWR Manor locomotive, as you can read here. And really, there were only two available, or two different types available on Wales to Sheffield. There are more on Acura scale, but they didn't send me an email until a day later. So I'd already purchased this, because you can't hang about, you just need to get on with it. And there's a whole load of stuff with this, as you can see. I was quite pleased. So you can freeze this, or I've even done it a little bit bigger there for you if you wish. To just and it's quite a comprehensive booklet. It really is, and a few photos of the original proper loco that I've got. I must admit the model looks a little bit cleaner than that one. So this is a sound fitted model, as I always tend to buy. And here are the functions, so they need to be entered, don't they? And yes, the box is the normal Acura scale box, very sturdy, nicely done, nice bit of foam on the top. Here's a blister pack surrounded, which is pretty good. And there's this slot at the side, you think, what's in there? And of course it's the accessories, isn't it? And yes, we do get etched numbers and nameplates for it to stick on, along with the normal bits and pieces. So I'll have to look into this. I believe there's a blanking plate for the front NEM pocket, I think. But I did notice there were no train name plates on, which some do get, but never mind. I like the big pull tab to open the blister pack. It's really good. The little ones can be difficult for older people. And here she is. Absolutely super on my bit of track that I've got in the kitchen. And I just thought I'd do it in photos because you can get a lot closer. And you know, it's steady, isn't it? So I hope you like these. I've just sort of got a few up close really. So, yeah, I think if Acura scale had been quicker with their email, I might well have bought it from them, and they did have more choice. But I'm happy with this. Yes, it hasn't got all the fancy banding and all that, but it's probably the proper workhorse. You know, it was used for everything, wasn't it? You know, and it's still a stunning model, I must admit, and pretty weighty as well. And look at the reversing rod. You usually get a bit of plastic, don't you? Look at that. That's quite something, I think. And lots of detail, as you can see. Look at all the riveting and everything everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. Smothered in riveting it is. The tender is pretty basic from this side, isn't it? But you've got the full detail stuff on the back. And looking down into the cab, yeah, there's detail and more detail. And I did take a flash photo in the cab, and as you can see, you've got it all painted, you've got the dials, everything, absolutely super. And even, you know, there's all the detail at the end of the tender where it goes onto the footplate. Great. And loads of detail underneath. You know, you can't complain, can you? And when you see that they put this out for a very reasonable penny shy of £260, it makes you wonder why the other manufacturers need to charge so much, don't they? So I had to go and sort out all my iTrains, didn't I? So I put the new engine that's not been run into my display cabinet with all the rest of my locos, of which there's only 2 up in the loft, and then I had to go back on the computer and get all the details in. So, well, it didn't quite work out like that, because before I took it up to the loft, as you've just seen, I needed some of this. Why did I need this? The funnel fell off. It was loose. It was still attached with the glue, which was a bit like Copydex, I think. And the last time I had a funnel off of a logo, it was Hornby's Maud, the J36. And when I put it on the track, it didn't actually work, so I was a bit worried. Anyway, I plonked the funnel back on, and the white sort of disappeared as it dried. It was PVA after all. And I thought the easiest way to try it is to get the old DR5000 fired up, no computer attached or anything, and then I used my phone. So I've got as you'll see in a second, I've got one that just says new loco, and it's the number 3, and I've got a couple of the functions there, so the sound on. Now number 2, according to the board, is brake, which it didn't sound like that when I used it, and obviously the horn. So here we go. It worked. It ran. It did make a few funny noises, I must admit. So we'll have to see how it goes. But this is straight out the box, near enough. So I had a bit of a problem here. I wanted it to come back, and I put it back, and it didn't go. And I tried it again, and it almost went out of shot, as you can see. So what had happened? The phone had lost command of the DR5000, so I had to just reconnect it all again. And then it came back in reverse, which is what I'd wanted in the first place. And she runs very well, doesn't she? I mean, you know. So, except for the funnel, it seems to be pretty good. So, does the sound work? And as you can see, yes it does. It's good. It's always nice when it makes a sound, isn't it? And I tried a few, as you can hear, of the sounds. And yes, it doesn't sound like brakes, is it? Number 2. And it runs well and it sounds okay. I would say it's not particularly loud, but maybe that's for the good, because it was fairly early in the morning this, so that I got up here before it got too hot, which it has been doing again. I thought I'd go a little bit quicker. I didn't want to take her out onto the main track because I couldn't do the points unless I used my tablet like this, which I didn't want to fire up. And this was just really to see that she works, you know, because it could be a little while before I get up and run, because it just gets too hot still. And I still need to sort out the computer, of course, and give her a name and give her a put her on the programming track, which is just there with the connection, the Hornby connection by the little hut. And as you can see, we've got the firebox below. Now this was all automatic. I didn't do any of this. It started up the old shoveling, and the firebox below glued until he stopped shoveling and he shut the thing. It's quite good, you know. You can hear the actual door being shut, I think. So very good. So some of these extra noises might be in, you know, in the sound file. They might. That's what happens when you start up a Manor locomotive. So the only thing to try was the slow running. So this literally is out the box. It's not had a, you know, it's not run any further than you've seen it really. And this was the first bar on the phone. I couldn't get it any lower than this. Now whether I'll get it a bit better on iTrains, I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? But I'm quite pleased. I'm happy with it now. So I know it works. And it just needs a good old run in.
Everybody, I'm up in the loft again, and what you've just seen is, you know, really my sort of panic to make sure it did actually work. You know, with the funnel off and the memories of them moored, you know. Anyway, as you saw, she did, but we didn't see her running around the layout, did we? So I've got her on the layout now, still running in a bit. I have now given her a proper number. Instead of being number 3, she's now number 33. And I've not yet put her into done all the stuff I need to do in the database for iTrains to run her accurately. That isn't to say she won't run, she does, but just not, you know, won't stop where you want it to and that sort of thing. Although saying that, I found it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But yeah, so I didn't want her to feel lonely up here as a lone engine, and I'm sure Kelly will be delighted that I've actually got all my 460s running. So we have the Manor, we have the Castle, Earl of St Germans. We have the Lord Nelson, named Lord Nelson, and we've got an unnamed, Black 5. And they're all running around, with the exception of the Manor, they're all running around on a solo engine program. So that would be what, a light engine, wouldn't it? And they're all working very well at the moment. Quite pleased. And I've actually got the Black 5 and the Earl of St Germans on the outer track, one going one way and one going the other, so quite good. So I did want to run her in. I've got to say that she's running very well, and I don't hear any extraneous voices. Oh well, it's a voice, isn't it? And I'll run around and show you without the sound on, and then I'll put the sound on and we can see what we think of it. Okay, everybody? So I hope you'll enjoy this. I'm going to do an awful lot, and I might go down and get some carriages to put behind her. Although looking at what they pulled, it could well be a freight. They did pull freight trains as well. And if I just tell you that at the moment it's just coming up to 80 degrees in here. Now it was a reasonable 70 when I first looked. I came up, it was about 73 or 4. And obviously with me up here, all the lights on and everything, it's now nearly 80. So I'm not going to be up here long, right? So we'll swing round and I'll show you the layout.
So with the manor chucking away in the background, and I'll show you her in a minute with a train. Yeah, time for a cup of tea. And but I don't need the brain power because it's all working lovely. Touch wood. There's a wood. Yeah, I thought I'd get my Roberts train set mug out. So let's go and have a look at the train, shall we?